Is a coronavirus a germ, a fungus, or a virus?
That's a really good question, Lily. It's the coronavirus is a family of viruses that can infect animals and humans. COVID-19 is the latest coronavirus that has emerged in the world. It's called a coronavirus because when you put it under a microscope, it looks a little bit like a crown in its shape. And they think this one may have started from a bat, but certainly from an animal. It's important to know that at the moment we don't have a vaccine, something that can keep us safe from this virus, but people all over the world are working so hard to try to get us a vaccine as soon as possible to keep us safe.
Hi, I'm Vincent, and my question is, why did we have to start school holidays so early, and how do you get coronavirus?
So you might have seen that lots of parents are also working from home at the moment. And so some governments have also asked that kids stay home as well. And that's because if you're at home, there's less chance that you'll be able to catch the virus. You see, some people have the virus and they don't even know they have it, and they can be infectious to others. And also because if you do have it, you could be a danger to people who are already sick or unwell, or perhaps who are older and more vulnerable. And so the best thing to do is for us to stay home. The coronavirus lives in our lungs, but I think of it like this little piece of cotton ball, but it's microscopic. It can be passed through your breath, droplets of snot from your nose, but it doesn't have any wings and it doesn't have any arms or legs, so it can't move by itself. It has to be moved by us. So if we touch a surface and then touch our eyes or our nose or our mouth, that's how we could catch the virus. We have to move it around. So this is why people are really encouraging you to wash your hands all the time for 20 seconds, or to sing happy birthday twice all the way through. And it's also why you're being encouraged probably not to touch your face all the time. And you're also being asked to keep your distance from others so that we can make sure that we keep each other safe and we don't infect each other with this virus, which can make people really sick.
Hi, I'm Orla. In 2 weeks, it's going to be my birthday, and I'll be turning 7. About the virus, my question is, will babies and children die from the virus if they get it?
Well, happy birthday, first of all, Orla, for 2 weeks' time when you turn 7. It's a really, really important question. For the most part, it appears that children don't seem to be as affected by this virus as older people do. But it's possible that children and babies could get the virus. And some children do die, like they die from the flu and chickenpox and diarrhea in many, many, many countries. But what you have to know is that most people who get this virus make an absolutely full recovery and are well again afterwards. But because this is the first time we've seen this virus, we have to do everything we can to protect the people we love the most, which are often our children. So that's why we're keeping you at home, why you're not going to school in the normal way, why we're always saying to you that you need to wash your hands and sneeze into your elbow, and you have to keep physical distance, and you can't go to the playground, and you can't do all the normal fun things that you would normally do. That's because we want to make sure that as much as possible you don't get the virus and you can stay well and healthy.
Can you catch coronavirus through cats?
That is such a good question because even the scientists don't really know, but they think at the moment, based on what they understand, that there's no reason to be worried that pets could in any way transmit this COVID-19 virus. But we do know that it originally came from an animal and we think it might have come from a bat. But pets can also spread other diseases, so it's really important that you just practice normal, healthy habits around all your pets. So make sure you wash your hands and you don't let them near your face, and you keep yourself healthy from them infecting you with any other kind of disease as well. But I think that in terms of the virus, you are safe to spend time with your beautiful, beautiful cat.
What is Plan International doing to help stop kids from getting the coronavirus?
Thank you for this question, Sarah. Plan International all over the world, we've called this a red emergency. That's the highest level emergency we can call. And we are doing everything we can to try to help children and their families keep themselves safe. So in many places, that means We're trying to get people access to basic things like water and soap so that they can wash their hands, but also information, so how to keep yourself safe from the virus by keeping physical distance, not sharing food, not holding hands, keeping the right amount of distance, sneezing into your elbow, washing your hands with soap for the right amount of time and in the right way, and teaching kids actually the method for how to wash your hands and keep them really clean. Some places we create these things called tippy taps, which are a container that can be activated with your foot so you're not spreading germs. We're also thinking about how can we use things like television or radio to get the message out to families and children in a way that they can understand and in a way that they can practice so they can keep them and their family safe. Encouraging older people to not have contact with little people and to keep themselves isolated. That's really hard. We know that because we're missing our grandparents too, but basic things like that can help keep people safe. And we're doing things like helping people to make masks to keep themselves protected. We're working with medical companies to try to see if we can train health workers so that they can help do the original testing, or can train, nurses and doctors on how to keep themselves safe if people do get the virus and do get sick. But we are working in every place that we work. That is our focus, is how can we keep children and their families safe from this virus, because in many places where we work, water is not easy to come by, neither is soap, and the health system that we rely on in Australia, which is so good and so well resourced, isn't what everybody has access to. So we have to really make sure that we stop the virus in its tracks.
Can kids in other countries do schooling from home if their school shuts down?
Thanks for that question, Nicholas. In many of the places where Plan works, kids don't have access to electricity at home or a computer or the internet. So if their school shuts down, they may not be able to continue their schooling. But in the same way that maybe a year ago, if someone had said to you, you might not be going to school in a classroom, you'll be learning around the kitchen table or at your desk. We are also trying to adapt how we work with parents and families and give them the tools to keep their kids learning new things. You can learn from your family, you can learn from your friends, and you don't always have to learn the formal curriculum. You can be learning new kinds of things about how to do practical things around the home, or you can be learning things from nature. So we are trying to equip as many families as we can to keep kids learning, because we know that education is really important for every child, no matter where they come from.
What can young people do to help with the coronavirus?
Well, the first thing I'd say is that this is such an unusual situation in the world. So however you're feeling about it, whether you feel angry or scared or not sure about it, that's absolutely okay. Talk to someone that you trust, an adult in your life that you trust, about how you're feeling. 2, you can wash your hands, you can cough into your sleeve, and you can keep the physical distancing rules. So that means you don't give people hugs at the moment. You have to stay away from perhaps older people or vulnerable sick people in your life. You might not be able to see your grandparents at the moment, and that might be heartbreaking. You might really miss their cuddles. You can't go to playgrounds and the beach. Even your school holidays are totally interrupted. But you have to know that the thing that you can do that will help other people is listen to what the government is telling us and your parents are telling you to do. So try and wash your hands, keep your physical distance, stay at home as much as you can. If we can work together, we can make sure that people don't get the virus and don't get sick, and that means we can buy time while a vaccine is being developed that can keep us all safe. I've heard someone say that virtual hugs keep away the bugs. So think about all the virtual hugs that you can give to other people. Maybe try to stay connected to your friends online. The thing you can do is be part of the protection of other people in the community. That's the main thing that you can do right now. And I want to say a big thank you to you for doing that, because this is really, 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 really tough. And it might go on for a little while, but it will be over. And when it is over, we really look forward to being able to go and see our grandparents and play with our friends and go back to school. So just keep yourself focused on this will pass. And one day soon, in the not too distant future, you'll be able to do all those things that you really love again.